What's going on YouTube? It's fineokay, and today I'm bringing you guys the second part or the other end of the build video for Season 5. This is going to be for the Warriors. I did the Guardians the other day, I think last week. And now we're going to be doing the Warriors. So we're going to be going over the CDR-based Warriors, basically the ability-based Warriors for the most part, and then the auto-tech-based Warriors, because they're going to have a little bit difference in build. Not too much, but yeah. So anyway, we'll just start out with Alma. The ability-based Warrior build is kind of going to change from character to character because some characters make better use of certain items, but there's going to be a baseline, and I'm basically just going to show you that right now. So we're going to start out with our starting build. We're going to be going Warrior's Blessing into Tier 1 boots. The boots rush is still pretty important, especially if you go teleport. I think teleport's really good this season. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a must buy, but I think you should mess around with it if you're playing solo and see if you can rush boots and stuff like that. If you're not going that, then sprint is always an option. It's called Heavenly. Heavenly is always an option. So is Horrific if you think you have a lot of kill potential. With people going Warrior's Blessing, you don't have as much kill potential with Horrific, so you don't always have to look for that. And then if your character is good with Blink, then maybe you can go Blink first active. Maybe look for random ganks and fights in your jungle and stuff. So as far as pots go, I've always thought that pots are probably the most important thing in solo, so I'm going to go over this real quick. If you don't have any self-sustain in solo, I would probably go Chalice. That way, after that first back, after you TP back in, you get that refilled. You don't have to spend gold on it. You can constantly have that Chalice ready for the laning phase, because it's a lot of sustain, right? 750 health over the 75 seconds, so 10 health per second is pretty good. So if you don't have any self-sustain, then go that. But on a character like Alma, on a character like I guess like Tier and stuff like that, you have self-heals, so you don't really have to go for that. So I like to go 3 health pots into multi-pots. That way I save 50 gold, and if I don't use these pots, I can sell them and, rush my boots if I need to, if I lose any gold. But that should be plenty of sustain, and going along with Warrior's Blessing, this gives you some sustain and some tankiness. So this would be my start on a character that has self-sustain, and again, if I don't, then I would just go Chalice. Keep in mind that you'll run out of gold. 700 here, 500 here, so that's 1200, then Chalice is 300, so you're at 1500 there, so you'll run out of gold. So this is always an option so that you can have some leftover gold if you think that you won't be able to get enough gold for boots as soon as possible. But I like doing this so I can rush my boots and get TP back in and keep up the pressure in solo. And then of course we're going to be going Warrior Tabi. There's some scenarios if you feel like you're going to get camped really hard and you're playing a character that has a lot of damage like Alma or Kokolin, you can go tank boots, but usually I would just go Warrior Tabi almost every time. And then we're going to be going Breastplate. Gladiator Shield has dropped off quite a bit. It's still a good item if you're trying to win the laning phase. I still think you can go Glad Shield on pretty much not like a character like Amar or Herc or even Tier, but some of the other ability-based warriors like Wukong if you're playing Wukong, Kokolin maybe. But I think in general Breastplate is just better right now. And then after that, this is another scenario where if they're solo laner, you feel like you're fighting them a lot, they have a way to proc it. Stone of Gaia is really good. So that's a situational item right there. But usually I'd be going Hide the Urchin here. And then Pestilence. That way I'm getting a lot of protections off this. And this is my baseline for protections. I'm going to be at about 200 each with just these 3 items once I get this Urchin stacked up. Keep in mind with Urchin, you do not have to build it early. There's this idea that you have to be building it early to get really good use out of it. Yeah, you'll get stacks earlier, and that might help out a little bit. But the item is good on its own. And once you evolve it, you get this shield. It's not the greatest, but it contributes a bit. So you could build it later. But just to get that shield, you can think about building it early. But it's not that big of a deal. But this season, the issue is there's a lot of crit builds, so Nemean is a must-buy. I think it's a bit better than Spectral, especially when you pair it with Thorns, which is going to be your second active. Whatever you go here, after that, your second active is going to have to be Thorns. So I'm going to remove Blink real quick. Make sure you guys realize that you're going to be going Thorns. I'm just doing it right now so I can show you the combination. A lot of people are going crit right now, so Nemean Thorns is kind of a must-buy. There's no way you can really go on their ADC without them owning you if you don't have it. They'll do a lot of damage to you and they'll crit you really hard. You could mess around with like Spectral, but I think this combination is just much better. Plus, this gives you 80 physical protections, which is better than Spectral's 60 physical protections. That's 20 more, so that's going to help you tank towers and phoenixes and the other physical damage in the game. And then the last item is a little bit situational. If you didn't get Stone of Gaia earlier, then you probably get it here just because it's 400 health, and it's always going to be good for sieging and surviving. And that sustain is just always going to be good in those late game scenarios, especially when you're dancing around Fire Giant and stuff like that. And then there's of course the situational items like Mantle. Ama's really good with CDR, so maybe you can fit that in somewhere if you don't have to go something like that. I do think Pestilence is a must-buy with all the lifesteal that mages are going, the lifesteal that hunters are going, just the healing that's in the game, like Stone Gaia, stuff like that, and the characters that have self-sustain, because most characters do. So Pestilence is kind of a must-buy. And then Wingblade will always be a situational item. Not picked or built as much anymore, just because there's all these other better items that are giving you health and stuff like that. Stone Gaia, basically. And then Shield of Regrowth will always be an option on a character like Ama or Hercules or anything like that. And then if you feel like you can just own them and you want to go more of a damage option, you can always look for the Void Shield. Void Shield is pretty good this season. They added 100 health to it. It's pretty expensive, keep that in mind, but it's still always an option, I think. And you could probably replace maybe Stone of Gaia with it in this build. If you replace it, then you'll probably be at 325 physical protection, which is pretty sick. It'll make Titan's Bane pretty good, but not many people are building that right now, besides maybe some junglers. So yeah, this would be your baseline build for the ability-based warriors or the CDR-based warriors. Keep in mind that you have a blue buff almost always, right? So that's 30% CDR with breastplate. So you're missing out on 10% CDR, which is kind of sucks, but it's not that big of a deal. These items are just more worth it in general, especially with how the meta is, I guess, making it out right now. So with like crit and everything like that, and lifesteal and stuff. So that's, like I said, this would be your ability-based warriors or your CDR-based warriors. So then we're just gonna go, like I said, I keep saying like I said, but this could change from character to character. Like you may want to go Glad Shield instead of breastplate on Kukulkan, and maybe Stone of Gaia just because it's really good on him. And you may want to go like Shield of Regrowth on Herc just because it's really good on him, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how you build those characters. Keep in mind that it's full defense. Earlier on, we thought that maybe you'd be building more damage in solo, but I still think that being full tank is the way to go, especially in like a competitive setting, and also like if you're communicating with your team, making sure that you're tanking phoenixes and stuff like that. That kind of stuff is always going to be really important. So then we'll go along to the auto attack warriors now. It's going to be very similar as far as the start goes. Warrior's Blessing, tier 1 boots. I like to go Health Chalice on Bologna, but there's maybe Erlang you don't have to go Health Chalice on, since you have sustain in your ult, and you maybe just want to get like a pot here and there, like a health pot here and there. But you could still go with Chalice. So I still think Chalice is probably good on Bologna, Osiris, Erlang, stuff like that. But you don't have to do it. And then start would usually be Teleport, like I said. I talked about you can also go Sprint, Horrific, that kind of thing. I'll just keep that here because this is my go-to right now. So then I'd be rushing Warrior Tabi, even on Bologna now. You don't get any power from your starter item, so I think that the Warrior Tabi is kind of a must, just because you take forever to clear if you go Ninja Tabi on a lot of stuff, just because you get no power from this, so it doesn't really help your damage at all. So I'd be going Warrior Tabi here, and since I'm playing an auto attack warrior that wants to win the lane, I like to rush Glad Shield, even on a character like Bologna, even on a character like Erlang, anything like that. I've been rushing Gladiator Shield, and then going High to the Nemean. You can look to go Mystical here. I've been liking Nemean though, just because of all the crit. Even junglers are building Deathbringer right now, and like I said, I'm going Thorns second active almost always. So I just like Nemean here. It's like really good. But I also could go Stone of Gaia here, if they have any way to like proc it in solo or in their jungler or something. I think it's really good. This is a really lane dominant build, just because you have so much sustain. It's just you're just trying to play for the long haul. Poke in solo, you're going to be poking them out, fighting a little bit. You don't want to just 1v1 for 10 seconds and just go all in. It's more of like you're going to keep consistently out clearing them, consistently poking them, and eventually you're going to win that trade. So that would be this build. But if I go Stone of Gaia here, I'm going to go either Pestilence here. If I feel like I have to worry about their physical damage, then I'm going to go Nemean here. But if I get Nemean there, then I'll get Pestilence here. If I get Pestilence there, I'll get Nemean next. And then last item, I'm going to be going High to the Urchin. Like I said, it's not that big of a deal if you're getting it last item. The item itself is really good, and you'll be able to stack it in those late game fights. And then since I don't need CDR on a auto attack warrior late game, I'll be selling that for Void Shield. So this would be the build for my auto attack warriors. Like I said, you can try and mess around with the Mystical in the build. I haven't been liking Mystical. It's just a little bit too expensive, and I think that Nemi is just a little bit better. But if you were going to try and go Mystical, I'll go back and I'll show you what I would do if I were going Mystical. If I really wanted to push the lead, I would go Mystical here, and then I'll probably go Stone Gaia here, and then I would go Pestilence, and then I would just, I would go Pestilence, and then I would get Nemean last. But like I said, since crit's such a big deal right now, this might not be the best option. Either way, if you want to go Mystical, that's what I would do, and then I would sell this for Void Shield most likely. Now you're going to be a little bit less tanky as far as magical goes with this build, but you're going to have a little bit extra health, so it's not that big of a deal, as you can see here. And in a character like Bologna, you're not really getting hit by their mage, anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. A character like Bologna or Cyrus, maybe Erlang, you're getting owned by their mage, so you might not want to go this. But if I were going to go Mystical, that's what I would build. So yeah, that's basically it. Just like I said, it's just going to be a quick overview of the ability-based warriors, CDR warriors, whatever, and the auto attack warriors and what I'm building on them right now. This is just kind of what I've learned through playing ranked, scrimming, stuff like that. Just my thoughts on things. So if you were wondering how to do it, there you go. Use this guideline for the future and to win your ranked games right now and all your qualifiers and stuff like that. So yeah, I did this in one take, so that's why I kind of skipped or maybe stumbled over a few words here and there. By the way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you learned something in the comments. If you have any questions about, you know, relics, about certain items, what you can build, stuff like that. Keep in mind with the auto attack warriors, those items are all situational. The ones that I had for the ability warriors, you know, like wing blade, stuff like that. Mantle is always like situational, you know, all those kind of things. But I do like going Gaia on these auto attack warriors more than the ability warriors, just because they kind of want to dominate the lane and stay in lane for a while. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said before, if you have anything, any questions, any comments, anything like that, leave in the comments, and I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, we should have another in-review video coming out tomorrow. I'll be working on that tomorrow. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching the video. See you guys later.